Happy Friday, everybody. We're here to end the week with some Out of the Park Baseball 22 and our Colorado Rockies series. I've simulated up to opening day, and you can see before we get into any comments or anything, I just wanted to go through a couple of the injuries. The biggest one, unfortunately, was Mike Clevenger, who suffered some back spasms on March 23rd, so he will be out for another 4 weeks. It was a 6-week injury. We also lost our starting catcher for the season in Christian Vasquez. He strained his hip. That was, I think, a 3-week injury, and so he will be out for another 1 to 2 weeks. So in their place for Mike Clevenger's spot in the rotation, we have filled it with Peter Lambert because we don't really have anybody else right now, unfortunately. So Peter Lambert has to be the guy. And for catcher, we're just going to let Dom Nunez be the starting catcher until Vasquez gets back. And we called up Jose Briceno just to be the backup. I think he'll be okay. But of course, our pitchers might suffer a little bit because of Christian Vasquez not being there. I mean, it's a big difference going from someone who has a catcher ability of 55 to eventually we're going to go to someone who has a catcher ability of 65. So hopefully we can tread water here for a little bit without a guy who was supposed to be one of our better pitchers and a guy that was supposed to be our starting catcher. Other than that, no real changes because we don't really have the money anyway. You see, we have no money for free agents, so we can't really do anything even if we wanted to. And that was that. So let's get into some comments. I said I would answer this one. I responded to this person. I said, hey, I'll answer this at the start of the next episode. So let's do that. Comment number 1. When you identify a player like Rhys Hoskins, how are you so optimistic that he will rebound? That feels like such a gamble, but you are so confident in it. Yep, that. I think that's a fair question. So if we go to Rhys Hoskins, it differs with every player, I'd say. For someone like Rhys, I'm more familiar with him in real life, so it's kind of a little easier. But when I look at Rhys, I'll just go to his batting stats here real quick. I can see that for a full season, he put up the lowest BABIP of his career. Now, of course, I'm not saying that because I'm using BABIP for Rhys, because you see, typically in his career, he's had a below average BABIP pretty much every season outside of 2021 when he was coincidentally one of his best seasons. He was a 4-win player and he put up a 139 WRC plus. But I find it hard to believe that after having one of the best seasons of his career, Rhys just suddenly decided to fall off a cliff. I know he is 29 years old, but an 88 WRC plus, the 316 on base percentage, the 370 slugging percentage, the overall 685 OPS, the walk percentage that was 2 to 3% lower than it's been in the past, the strikeout percentage that went up. I kind of think, personally, to me, these are outliers, and based on his track record, they will regress back to the mean. And when I say that, I think that the walk percentage will go back up, the strikeout percentage will come down, and with those things that are going to happen, his batting average will go back up to kind of that, I'd say 235 to 250-ish range it's been in the past. His on-base percentage will go back to being one of the better marks in baseball, and with that, his slug percentage will improve because he'll have better pitches to hit. His OPS will go up. So when I look at a guy like Rhys, that's kind of what I'm looking at. I mean, you take a look at the scouting things. I mean, the power's gone down a little bit according to our head scout, but for the most part, the eye is still there. His avoid strikeouts, it's graded out pretty average at a 45 grade. His contact is of a 45 grade. So I just find it hard to believe that this is when he declines, the type of player that Rhys is, which is why I'm going to take a chance in him. And ultimately, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I've been wrong a lot when I play out of the park baseball games. So I could be completely wrong. I could have signed him to a really bad contract extension that we're not going to be able to get off of because 2022 is actually a sign of things to come. Maybe my head scout views him highly than somebody else would. I mean, we'll take a look at OSA. It's pretty similar, but maybe a different head scout would view Rhys a little differently than my head scout does, so I'm getting bad information. All that's to say that there's an inexact science to this, and it's just me personally. I trust that based on his track record and a number of other variables, I trust that Rhys will get back to the player that he was in the past, and I don't think 2022 is a sign of things to come. But, I could be wrong. But all that is to say that in general, when I look at guys that have done well in the past and then finally had a bad year, I'll look at their BABIP, I'll look at what their walk and strikeout percentages were, compare them to what they've been in the past. I'll look to see if their ratings are starting to go down based on my head scout and then just other things as well. I use a lot of different things to determine if a player can bounce back, and I do think that Reese can bounce back. But that was a good question. Blue Belly Gaming. That was a very good question. Number two, this is a number of comments here. Big boy offseason for sure. I'm a little worried it's a bad house of cardsy. I thought that was a good way to put what this season could be, and we've already seen it. I mean, Clevenger's out for another 4 weeks. We've already lost our starting catcher, so I think that's a good way to put it. I mean, this team on paper is very good, but could all easily come toppling down. And I understand that. Realistically, there's a good chance of that happening. But man, if there's some talent on that team, great offseason. Excited for what's in store. I like the moves. Think Mondesi could be a very good pickup. Live stream wise, I think it would be fun as long as I'm not doing anything else important. I would definitely check them out. I wanted to bring this up. There was interest in live stream, so I am going to start to explore that. As I said, they would be over on Twitch. I'll make a video when I have everything certain. The first day I'll do it. The time, stuff like that. As I said, it will be uploaded to this YouTube channel afterwards, because I know not everybody can make a live stream, just, other commitments, time difference, whatever. So if you do miss a live stream, that would, you'll be able to watch it. It won't be the Rockies. It'll be something completely different. So the Rockies will not be being streamed live. It'll just be a completely different, fresh, new save that we can all start together, interaction, stuff like that. So I just wanted to get out there right now because I did see a lot of people interested in live streaming. So that's really cool. So I'm going to look into starting that. As I said, I'll upload a video when that is all finalized. Wow, big off season. Nice moves. The top four of the rotation should be really exciting to watch. Live stream will be cool. If you ever get to a point where you need a move to push the team over the top, Tyler Glasnow could be a great arm due to his high spin fastball and his amazing slider, aka the two best pitches for cores due to my foolish baseball experience. I wanted to put this one in here because I've been asked before about tutorials and stuff like that, and Foolish Baseball is one of the channels that has done a phenomenal tutorial series for Out of the Park Baseball in the past. So when people ask me if I'm going to do tutorials, I say no, and the reason for that is not because I don't want to do them, it is because I think there's so much other good content out there that my tutorials would not live up to. So Foolish Baseball is definitely one of them. PF Holden is out there. As I said in the first episode, OOTP Developments, their own channel, YouTube channel, are going to be putting out some tutorials pretty soon. I mean, they already have some up from previous years. So that is, if you guys ever have any like in-depth, really tutorial kind of questions, those are always good channels to check out as well. Hi, Ryan. Good job this offseason. Would take a catastrophe to not go 500 this season. That kind of goes back to the House of Cards comments. If we keep getting injuries like Clevenger, like Vasquez, the guys that we're counting on to be big-time contributors, this is not going to be a very successful season. One thing I would like to see is what your division rivals have also done in their offseason. It doesn't have to be as in-depth as for your team, maybe just the headline moves that they made, and then other stuff about the live stream. And I think this would be kind of cool. This is something that I've never been asked to do before, but I think it's a phenomenal idea. So I'll check the Dodgers. This might change in future years, but I think the way I'm going to do it this first time, I'll just look at what the team looks like. And we'll see. Of course, we'll look at the preseason predictions. We'll see how the team's supposed to be. But right now, the Dodgers lineup still looks very, very good. They still have Betts, Seager, Lux. It seems like they have traded for Giancarlo Stanton last season, close to the deadline. That's always a risky move because his injury proneness is wrecked. So I don't know what you're quite going to get for him. I'd kind of be interested to see what that trade was that they did. So they traded Corey Knebel, coincidentally, and Kybert Ruiz. Okay, that's all right. So that was how they got Giancarlo Stanton from the Yankees. They have Will Smith, their catcher. It seems like they got Yoshi Tsutsugo from the Tampa Bay Rays, or they signed him as a free agent. So he is a new addition he was a new addition to the lineup after 2021. His first year at the Dodgers did not go super great, but we'll see if that changes this year. AJ Pollock is still with the Dodgers. DJ Peters is their center fielder. They had him in their minor league system. And then their rotation, you still have Clayton Kershaw. Walker Buehler is out for 6 weeks because he suffered that torn UCL last season. I do remember that. So he'll come back eventually. Cody Bellinger, you can see he's out for 3 weeks, so he'll enter the starting lineup eventually as well. Caleb Ferguson is looking pretty solid. He had an okay year last year. He was close to a 4-win pitcher, so good for him. Dustin May, Julio Urias, they do have Charlie Morton. So Charlie Morton has signed with the Dodgers after the 2021 season, and he did not put up great numbers in 2022. We'll see if he can improve. And then the bullpen looks pretty good as well. So the Dodgers are going to be a team to watch. The Padres, we'll take a look at them. They don't look all that different from how they would have looked at the start of the save. Grisham, Cronenworth, Tatis, Machado, Hosmer. They do have Jerks and Profar in a starting role, but it seems like he started last year as well. And yeah, so, and a lot in 2021. So Ha-Seong Kim is now their second baseman. Luis Campusano and Brian O'Grady round out their lineup. And then the rotation, of course, they don't have Mike Clevenger anymore, but they do have Mackenzie Gore, LeMay, Morgan, Nix, and Darvish. So still guys that are there in real life today. And then their bullpen, Weathers, Adams, Lawson, Johnson, Pomeranz, Paddock, Ross, and Baez. So this team really hasn't changed a lot, though. I see they got Bryson Stott in a trade. He's one of the Phillies' top prospects at that point in the save, so I'd be interested to see. Guys, come on, Phillies. Why? No. Why would you do that? No. Oh, that hurts to see. But so this team is pretty similar to what they would have been at the start of the save. So they really have not done that much in terms of retooling the roster. Not that they had to, but we'll take a look at what the Diamondbacks look like. So Pavin Smith, the reigning NL Rookie of the Year, he had a very good season last year. We'll see if he can build upon it. Their leadoff hitter seems to be Geraldo Perdomo, who it seems like came up through there. He was with, I think that's Amarillo and then Reno, and now he's with the big league club. Dominic Fletcher, another guy. Yeah, so it seems like that's another farm system kind of guy. They do have Avisail Garcia, who looks like played overseas in 2022, and now he's back in the major leagues. The Diamondbacks are giving him a shot. So let's take a look here. They also have Seth Beer still there, Carson Kelly. This is one of the catchers that we were going to look at, and it seems like he's done pretty well. So that might have been a guy to look at, but I think we're happy with Vasquez. We're happy with Drew Romo coming up through the system. Tim LaCastro and Nick Ahmed round out the order, and then they have Zach Gallen, Shunpei Yoshikawa, who they, I guess, got, so he had a solid season in 2021, another solid season in 2022. He's been about a 2.5 win player. That's always valuable for a pitcher. Spencer Howard, how did they get, what trades did we make? So this was just a couple months ago. We received Stuart Fairchild, Blake Walston, Christian Robinson. All right, that's not as bad as the other trade, but so now the Diamondbacks have Spencer Howard, who I think is going to be a really solid pitcher. So that's going to be a guy to watch out for in the division. Jeremy Beasley, they still got Bumgarner kicking around. And then there's their bullpen. And then the final team, the San Francisco Giants. I'd be interested to see if Gabe Kapler is still there. Yes, he is. So they still have Gabe Kapler, of course, former Phillies manager. Austin Slater, Cody Hoyes, Tommy LaStella. They were the team that signed Jose Abreu on free agency this offseason. So Abreu leaves the White Sox and goes to the Giants. Joey Bart seems to be their starting catcher now. Jorge Polanco, Trey Mancini, Brandon Crawford, Lamonte Wade Jr. It seems like Mikey Stremski suffered a torn PCL. That stinks. They have Tony Gonsolin now, who suffered a torn flexor. Wow, they have a lot of big injuries. Their rotation, Marcus Stroman, Kenta Maeda, Logan Webb, Sean Hiel, and I know I butchered that, and Shun Yamaguchi. So their rotation is certainly a little different, and that's their bullpen. So it seems, of course, it's the Dodgers, it's the Padres. We're going to have to compete with those, as we thought, but the other two teams have some solid pieces as well. So they're going to be ones to watch out for. Man, am I excited for the upcoming season. Some smart and well-thought-out contracts handed out. Use the money well. I'll go with a 91-win season. I hope so. And then this was about a live stream. As a Royals fan, I love the two additions from there. And keep in mind, Whit Merrifield is a utility guy as well. He's currently playing second for the Royals right now. That's a good thing to keep in mind. I said that in terms of my bench, I was looking for defensive versatility. But Whit Merrifield definitely brings that as well. You see that he can play. You can put him pretty much anywhere in the outfield. Center field, the 60 grade range, you'd like it to be a little higher, but still, I could put him any place in the outfield, and I'd probably feel pretty comfortable. And he can also play a pretty solid second base. Take a look at his ratings. He would be pretty good at second base. So, a lot of different ways. There we go. We can use Whit Merrifield, and I'm looking forward to it. I think that was all the comments that I needed to get to. Yep. Okay, cool. So that is that. That's all that I needed to talk about there. So we'll take one look at the preseason predictions. We'll see if they changed a little bit. And they have, not in a good way. I imagine I kind of figured that something like this would happen. It seems our offense is going to be really good, obviously. 893 runs. I think that went up a little bit. And then it says our pitching staff, we're going to put up a 4.73 ERA, 1,400 strikeouts, 550 walks, 80 and 82 record. It says we are supposed to have 3 of the top 10 hitters in baseball with Mondesi, Tapia, and Hoskins. And then we are supposed to have 2 of the top 10 pitchers in the National League in DeGrom and Burns. So I don't really know why it's projecting me to have an 80 and 82 record if we're supposed to have 3 top 10 hitters and 2 top 10 pitchers. Something's not adding up here. But regardless, I'm excited for the 2023 season. So once again, I'm going to do the same thing as I always do. I'll simulate up ahead here a little bit. We'll reconvene in May, and we'll see how your 2023 Colorado Rockies are doing. All right, it is May 1st, and your Rockies are 8-14. The offense has been pretty solid. The pitching has been bad. I think that's the only way to put it. We've dealt with some injuries. You can see that our injury list is pretty large. It was substantially larger about a week ago. So injuries have been a big issue for us to start the 2023 season. As I said, pitching has been a really big issue. Thankfully, we're getting Mike Clevenger back in a few days so we can get rid of either Conine or Lambert. I don't know who I'm going to get rid of. Probably Lambert because of his strikeout to walk ratio. But yeah, things have not gone very well. In fact, if we take a look at the schedule, I'm sure you guys will get as much of a kick out of this as I did when it was happening in real time. We started 1-11. So we did this thing where I guess we're going to struggle against the San Francisco Giants again this year. That's going to be a thing that happens. So we lost 3 out of 4 to start the season. We got swept by the Athletics. We got swept by the Mets. We lost 2 out of 3 to the Giants. And that was not a great way to start the season, but you can tell that we're kind of starting to get things back together. We took 2 out of 3 from the Diamondbacks. We lost both to the Astros, and we just swept the Diamondbacks. So we're doing good against the Diamondbacks, so that's a positive. But it was not that the way you can look at it. We did start 1-11, but after that we went 7-3. So hopefully it was just a really, really ugly start to the season, and we can kind of turn things around, because that was not fun. Just keep continuing to simulate on ahead and just seeing loss. It was not very fun. We take a look at team chemistry. It's okay. It wasn't very fun to see how the season started. Jacob deGrom really struggled out of the gate. It seems like he's kind of starting to get it back together. Hopefully he can continue to get it back together because we need him to be a big part of the rotation. McCullers, the entire pitching staff has been bad, but even McCullers has struggled to start the season, although it seems like he's kind of starting to get a little better. Brett Conine, it seems like all these guys are starting to get like a little better. Maybe not Peter Lambert. Yeah, we're going to send Peter Lambert down after this, I would think. But once Clevenger comes, hopefully getting Clevenger back in the rotation will help. The bullpen has still been okay. Bass hasn't been super great. Rosa has really struggled. He's been getting lit up so far, which is unfortunate. And yeah, there's not much positive to take away. If we take a look at lineups, I don't need pitching stats. I need batting stats. And then OPS, so we did trade for Adalberto Mondesi for a reason, and I'm glad to see that he is doing well. You can see a 911 OPS leading the team. He also has 5 home runs to go with 13 RBI. He has 2 stolen bases. I did kind of change his strategy and the team strategy. That way these guys are able to steal some bases, so I hope that it does show up in the game. Whit Merrifield has also done well. So our 2 big additions on offense have done pretty well. They lead our team among the full-time players in OPS. Charlie Blackmon is having a solid start to what might be his final season in Colorado at an 842 OPS. Rhys Hoskins, as I said that I think he'll bounce back, and through the first month he has an 813 OPS. His OBP is back up. His slugging is back up. He has 3 home runs and 13 RBIs. Christian Vasquez, for a catcher, has done, not even just for a catcher, for any position, he's done really, really well. Of course, the BABIP probably indicates that he will regress a little bit, but still, that's promising to see. That's the best production we've gotten out of the catcher position at any point during this save. Tapia his batting average is high. His OPS is a little lower than we'd like it to be. We'd like it to be somewhere in the low 800s, so hopefully he can get up to there. Caleb Cowart, I wasn't really expecting too much out of him, and a 751 OPS. He has been a negative value player so far, which is a little upsetting. I'd be interested if we take a look at his fielding stats. He's been, I don't know, okay, I guess, at third base, but I wasn't really expecting too much. That was really the only option that we had. Tommy Edman has been a positive value player, but his bat, once again, has struggled a little bit as it did a season ago. So he probably won't be our long-term option at second base. In fact, if we're really far out of it by the deadline, I might look to trade him because it seems like he does hold some value within this save within the league. So that's something that we'll take a look at. Harrison Bader has really, really struggled. 585 OPS, even despite his really good defense, he has a negative WAR. He is dealing with kind of a mild shoulder strain, but still, it has not been the most successful start for your Colorado Rockies. We're already 8 games out of the NL West. Not that I expected to win the NL West. I'm more trying to get to a wild card spot. We're only 4.5 out of there through 1 month. So I'll simulate ahead once again. Hopefully by the time June comes around, I got some better news for y'all because this was not the start that I was envisioning. But still, all things considered, 8-14. We dug ourselves a hole. We obviously can't win the division or clinch a playoff spot in the first month of the season, but we can definitely put ourselves a little ways out, and it seems like we did do that a little bit, but we just got to string some wins together here. We take a look at our May schedule. It is pretty NL Central heavy to start. We got the Reds, the Pirates, the Cubs. Then we have some AL West teams. We got the Braves, the Dodgers, the Padres, and then we end with what seemed just a 2-game set against the Rangers. So we'll see where we're at after May. Hopefully we're doing a little bit better. Because if we're not, then we're going to have to make some changes. All right, I wanted to cut back in because it's the middle of May. We just got swept by the Angels. I think we've gone, 5-8 since the last time that I cut in. And I think that while it says the team chemistry is happy, I think that what I'm going to do is make some coaching changes. I think that maybe that could be where we could improve. Of course, I don't know because I don't really know how I'm going to hire new guys. I don't even know if I can hire new guys. But if we take a look here at our staff roles, staff roles, our staff cohesion is feuding. And I would imagine it's because a lot of these guys struggle to work with different personality types that we have a lot of. So I think what I'm going to need to do is try to find some new coaches that won't feud with one another. I kind of wonder if that might help a little bit. We don't really have any money for free agents, so I don't even know if I'd be able to sign any coaches. I mean, that's not what I wanted. I didn't want free agents. I wanted available personnel. I just want to take a look and see here. Actually, I can rescind the offer, so let me see. Okay, so I can offer these to coaches, which is good. I don't want Sean O'Sullivan, no disrespect, but so I think that's what I'm going to do. If we take a look here, let's go to front office and personnel and staff roles, actually. So, we'll see if there's anybody we really want to keep. It seems like a lot of these guys struggle with easygoing seems to be the biggest thing, and normal that people struggle with. I'm not against getting let me. I really don't want any temperamental guys on the coaching staff, but it seems like maybe that might. I think the first thing I'm gonna try is getting a new pitching coach, maybe. So we'll fire John Farrell. I think So this is kind of cool. Recommendations. Mark Kiefer, maybe. He is a power pitcher. I forgot we could hire people from other teams. That's pretty cool. I think he looks pretty good. Mark Kiefer from the athletics organization. He focuses power pitchers. He struggles with controlling people, but we don't have any controlling people. He works well with easygoing. He is personable. We have one person who struggles with personable, and that's Jody Davis. So I think we will go with, none of them struggle with normal, so maybe we should try to find like a normal, maybe like Greg Smith, his pitching coach. He's not very good. Ben Ford. I think that Kiefer guy might be our best bet. It seems like he's pretty solid. He fits what we're trying to do. Clayton Mortensen, he could also be an option. He's on the available personnel list right now. I think we might take a chance on this Mark Kiefer guy. So let's discuss this. We'll submit an offer to him to be our pitching coach, and then if that's the case, we'd probably want to get rid of Jody Davis. Well, let's wait to see. Let's wait to see if we can get Mark Kiefer. We'll see how the team does here a little bit. Mark Kiefer does like the offer, which is good. So hopefully we can get him to be our pitching coach. And then if we can get him to be our pitching coach, then I think we will probably want to pitching coach. So we do get him so he is our new pitching coach. So if we go to front office and staff roles, now I think we are going to get rid of Jody Davis because he's the one that has the biggest issues now at this point with everybody else. He struggles with personable guys, and we have two of them. So we are going to get rid of Jody Davis. We're going to fire him, and then we are going to get a new, what do we need, a first base coach? And he was the one that was teaching our infield, although Stu Cole, he's good either way. So let's try to find someone that's good at teaching infield, I think would be good. Teaching running, Loretta's good. So what do we want? I'd say probably another personable guy would actually be kind of cool. And it seems like he is pretty solid. I think we're going to go with this guy, Brett DeGagne. I would imagine that's how you say it. Maybe DeGagne. I don't know. But let's go with Brett DeGagne. We'll submit the offer to him to be our new first base coach. We'll see if he is able to... I can tell you're serious. You're in the driver's seat. Okay, cool. So let's keep going here. Let's try to get our new first base coach, and we get him, Brett DeGagne. So this is going to be something to track now. We'll see if the staff can get along a little better, because now the only issues, Mike Green has issues with easygoing. So actually, let's go next level with this. Let's fire him. Let's try to bring in like another personable kind of guy. Maybe Jorge Valendia. So let's see. So Brett DeGagne. Now we need a hitting coach. Let's try to find a good hitting coach that doesn't struggle with what we have, and that's like actually good hitting coach, I think would be good. So this might take a little bit of time, so hold on here. All right, and we got our new hitting coach, superstar center fielder, Inks deal. Oh, so they signed Cody Bellinger to an extension, $235 million over 8 years. Oh boy, how much is that per? Wow, $29 million. Good deal. So Cody Bellinger is going to be a Los Angeles Dodger for a while. We did get a new hitting coach, as I was trying to say before I saw that. I'm going to butcher this name. I completely apologize. Jingbo Zhao. I wish I knew how to pronounce that, but he is our new hitting coach. So now if we go to front office and staff roles, the only issue that we have right now is Mazeliak, who struggles with easygoing. But other than that, we don't have any other people that are struggling with guys on our thing. I mean, even still, like, I would like to see if there is a better option out there than John Mazeliak. I don't know if there will be, so I'd kind of like to look for the scout ratings, and then scout amateurs would be the big thing. And I mean, there's some names here. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't think one guy struggling with an easygoing employee is gonna really be an issue, but we'll see if the staff cohesion goes up. I think it has kind of a little bit. I don't know, maybe it's just my eyes playing tricks on me, but we'll see if the staff cohesion will improve. I hope that it does. We'll take a look at the schedule. We have been playing a little better. I mean, since we started making these changes, we've gone 5-2 since we made the coaching changes. So maybe that's been the issue. I mean, the issue might just be that we don't have enough talent, but all right, so it is June 1st. We are 21-28. So if we take a look here, we went 13-14 in May. So, I mean, we had more games to play, but I think after we made those coaching changes, things kind of went a little better, which I hope is promising for the future, because if we take a look here, we are right now 6.5 out of the wild card race. So we did lose a couple games in there. We're still 10.5 out in the NL West. As I said, I'm not expecting to win the NL West, but if we take a look let's take a look here. I think that is going up ever so slightly. I don't know what else I could do to make it like not feuding. But I mean, this is all kind of new to me as well. This cohesion stuff, this is stuff that I kind of have to test with. But I hope that over time, now that people aren't struggling with personality types outside of Mozeliak, things will get better. Uh, I don't know. We are 21-28. I mean, I guess that's the one positive. Our manager's only expecting us to play close to 500 baseball. So based on that, we're doing exactly what he wants. It's just I kind of expected more out of this team. Unfortunately, if we take a look here, well, DeGrom's been better the past two starts, which that's good to see, but he's struggled so far overall this season. Corbin Burns has been our best pitcher, which is kind of what we expect him to be. Lance McCullers has not had the same success that he did a season ago. Low's FIP is 4.38. I'd like to think that hopefully he can get better as the season goes on. It's just I don't know how long I can wait for that to happen. Brett Conine has been, there's some starts he does well. It seems like overall he's getting better. Like he had a 9 ERA a month ago, and now it's down to 5.68. So it seems like he's pitching better. Mike Clevenger has been very good, so that's good. That's like if DeGrom and McCullers can get it together and Conine can just be a good end of the rotation starter, I think we'll be fine. The bullpen has been an issue, which I was not expecting. The bullpen has been good for the first two seasons here in Colorado. It has not been good this year. Raymels Rosa has kind of struggled a lot this season. Kostichak has struggled this season. It seems like he's been getting let up a lot. Anthony Bass his FIP is low, but I think he isn't doing what Ben Bowden was providing us with. Jake Bird, we called up because Justin Topa was struggling a lot, and Bird has not been very good. Mason Fox, here's a positive. We got this guy in the Rule 5 draft. He's been good. So that's a positive that we can take away. Jordan Hicks, once again, has struggled this season. I'm glad I did not sign him to a long-term contract extension because he has not performed like I thought he would. Even his FIPS have been really, really bad. So that's another guy. He's going to hit free agency. This is another guy we might look to trade. Even if we're doing well, we might look to trade him just because I'm not going to re-sign him. It doesn't seem like it's going to work here. Tommy Doyle's been good. Corey Knabel's recently it's been really, really bad, but earlier on he was okay. And then taking a look at the lineups here, Adalberto Mondesi and Whit Merrifield still leading the team. Tapia has now gotten into the low 800s, which is good. Blackman's dropped off. Edman is kind of where he was before. Cowart, that's fine. Hoskins has really dropped off recently, which is upsetting. It seems like he went on a pretty major cold streak, which is upsetting, but he was doing well early on, so I kind of think that it's just the ebbs and flows of the season. He's been a negative value player, which is a little concerning. Negative 0.4 WAR. I mean, I know he's not very good defensively, but maybe once we get rid of Blackman, we can just move Reese to DH, and then he won't have to play the field again. That's a little upsetting. Christian Vasquez for a catcher has been okay, I suppose. And then Harrison Bader, he struggled with injuries this season. Right now it's a mild shoulder strain, so he hasn't really been able to get it together, only 0.1 WAR. And the bench, which I thought was kind of going to be maybe not a strength, but better than we've had, the bench has stunk too. So we're 21-28. The season has not gone as I thought. So hopefully we can kind of get it together here. And yeah, that's it. So let me know your thoughts. If the assistant GMs of the YouTube community have any ideas, definitely leave them down in the comments. Would love to hear them. With all of that said, no video Monday. We will be back Tuesday for another episode of this Colorado Rockies Out of the Park Baseball Series. Enjoy your weekends, everyone. Thank you for all the support, and I'll catch you guys again next time. Enjoy the rest of your days.